today's workout, we have the Masters League 21.2, which is Fran Plus. My strategy for this one was to do 3 sets on the 21s, 2 sets on the 15s and 9s, and the second set of 15, and then 3 sets of the last set of 21. However, my ego got the best of me, and I ended up doing 2 sets on the first set. I'm not exactly sure why I did that, but I did 16 and 5, I believe, which automatically put me in a sort of negative headspace, and just wasn't sure why exactly I did it, but yeah, definitely got the ego got the best of me. I have done Fran Unbroken before. I've also done double Fran, so in 2013, 2014, early 2014, I did double Fran, but we had to set a new PB for the first one, where I got 3:01, which was a 30-second PB for me, and then just try and hang on for the second one. On the second Fran, I managed to do okay on the first set, so we went back to the 21, and then it was the 15 and 9 where I really broke down, and I ended up doing the second Fran in 9 minutes, so for a total time of 12:01. So which led me into this strategy that I used today, which was to break up early and often. Like I said, 3 sets for the 21s, 2 sets for the 15s, and 2 sets on the 9s for the thrusters. My pull-ups, I decided to just do 2 sets for each, even though I haven't done much volume in regards to pull-ups of late. I have been doing quite a bit of strict pull-ups, but I still was fairly confident that I could do them unbroken, but just based on trying to keep the heart rate low, I decided to do 2 sets of each, and I managed to stick to that, and they felt pretty good considering I haven't done much volume on the pull-ups. So the strategy behind breaking up early is to try and minimize your rest. This is something I didn't execute very well during this run through. I was resting, especially towards the end, I was resting a little bit too long, more than I liked at least, which is something that I'll definitely try and clean up in the next go through. So here, just taking a little bit too long. Like I said, the pull-ups felt fine. It was more just the heart rate, being uncomfortable with the breath. But looking at my average heart rate and max heart rate, was not as high as I've been able to get it of late. So I know that sort of gives me a little bit of confidence that I can push a little bit harder on the next go through, and where I would probably push a little bit harder is on the pull-ups, making sure that even though my heart rate is going to be high, I know I can still get the reps in. I'm fairly confident with the pull-ups, not as good as I used to be with the pull-ups, but still fairly confident. One thing you'll notice with my thrusters also is I actually take my time on those thrusters, so I have a slight pause at the top, and that is to take a breath. Breathing through your thrusters, for me personally, has been quite significant in difference when it comes to doing thruster workouts, especially when there's relatively sort of medium to high volume. So just that slight pause at the top just allows you to sort of gather yourself and catch your breath, rather than trying to go as fast as you can. Most of the time you hold your breath, which definitely spikes the heart rate. making the rest of the movements or workout a lot more difficult. So here's where I should be basically chalking up and then jumping straight onto the bar rather than chalking up and resting. So this is the set of 9. I wasn't concentrating too much on a fast tiebreaker time. My strategy was to try and go as fast as I could to try and set an overall fast time, and then the tiebreaker will sort of take care of itself. I was fairly happy with the workout up until this point, except for that first set, which I mentioned sort of threw me off a little bit because I had changed from my original game plan. Nothing drastic, but just it was in the back of my mind. One thing I did struggle with a little bit was focusing on this particular day. So those little step forwards during the thrusters, I was getting ahead of myself. So I was thinking about the next set or the next movement and what I was going to be doing. So here I need to be standing and definitely attacking this a little bit more. So if that means I need to do 3 sets instead of 2 on that second round of 15, it's definitely something that I'll be looking at. So faster sets, shorter rest, overall faster time. So in these last 2 sets is where I really start to rest a lot, which is obviously not great when you're trying to do the workout as fast as you can and set a good time. So again, slowing down those thrusters, breathing at the top, little step forward. Again, that's more of a mental lapse than like a fatigue sort of thing. Although this is where it probably really starts to kick in. The heart rate is quite high, and just using that as an excuse really to rest longer. So the mindset that I want to be in is an attacking mindset. Here I'm more of a defensive. So what I mean by that is I'm trying to keep that heart rate down. So it means that I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm just going to take a few more breaths to try and get that heart rate down so the next set feels better. Whereas I want to be, not worrying too much about the heart rate and just attacking each set, doing what I can at that particular time, even if that means I break it up an extra time. Alright, so moving on to the final set of 21. So we're at 8 minutes leading into this one, so it takes me quite a significant amount of time to finish this last set, and that's due to exactly what I'm doing now, just walking back and forth, whereas I should be, whether it sets a 3 or whatever, just attacking that barbell. Again, not paying much attention, stepping forward. So right now is where I should be walking up, picking up the bar. Instead, I walk back, grab the post, back to the knees. So this is where I can really make up some time on my next attempt. Just staying attacking. So even if I'm doing 2s or 3s here, at least I'm keeping those reps ticking over, and just not doing anything. So this is a significant rest here. It's been well over 40 seconds. So my movement still looks pretty good. Still taking that pause at the top. If anything, probably a little bit less pause, just because I know it's the last set. So that's 14 reps down. Again here, going to take a significant amount of rest, which is not good, especially when you got, last set, you want to be really pushing to get it done. Down on one knee. So this is definitely not an attacking mindset. 10 minutes down. So going into the final set here, big deep breath. So on this one I'm increasing the pace a little bit on those thrusters, which is something that I'll definitely have a look at. Alright, on to the pull-ups. So here I did look at the time, and again my mindset was like, okay, I'm going to finish this, rather than, okay, let's push, let's try and get a faster time. So a lot of this has to do with my mental mindset on the particular day when I did this, which in this case wasn't on point. So it's definitely something I'll take into account for the next attempt. So a set of 7, so I do 3 sets on this last set of pull-ups, which is something that I forgot. So I'm watching this for the first time as well. So the pull-ups are still looking pretty good, movement's not bad, still a lot of pop in those hips. So again, they're checking the time. Whereas right here I should be jumping back up regardless of what I'm feeling, but not to be.